Hi OTC Fit Life, Merry Christmas. So today we're doing something special, and as you can see, I'm not in my usual kitchen. Today I'm getting the pleasure of cooking with my mom. You remember she joined me a few videos ago. So we're doing our Christmas dinner. So today is going to be a stuffed pork loin. So we're going to do kind of a slightly sweet stuffing to go inside of the pork loin. But let's start with that and then we'll talk about the meat. All right, so I'm going to start my butter back here. I'm going to melt my butter, and I have one onion that's been chopped pretty finely, or diced pretty finely, not large. And we're going to be cooking this in the butter until it's softened up. Now, the nice thing about this recipe is that it's really easy to make, and you can pretty much add what you want as far as ingredients when you're stuffing your pork loin. Today we decided to do something a little on the sweet side because we have some nice sides to go with it, such as our sweet and sour red cabbage.
It's a red German style red cabbage.
Right, with onions in it and some apples as well. So we're going to carry that theme into our stuffed pork loin. So you can also do something different, say a bit more savory, with some spinach and sun-dried tomatoes and garlic, and maybe throw some feta cheese in there as well. So that's another alternative. I'll save that for another video perhaps. So we're gonna I know the butter is still melting. It's gonna take a minute. All right, so that's gonna go in there. We're gonna just let this sit and go talk about our other ingredients while that starts cooking. Mom, you wanna man the...
I'll do that.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, we're going to talk about our other ingredients while our onions are cooking on the back. So I have some stuffing that I had left over from the stuffing video that I made for Thanksgiving. Now, I didn't use a full bag, so this is what is left. I don't like leftovers, or I don't like waste, so I try to find different things that I can utilize it for. So I have our herb seasoning cube stuffing there. And next I'm going to add my stovetop because it's already got like the seasonings in it. So this is a nice little cheat here. And you can see you've got your parsley in there and your sage and stuff like that. Now, for our little touch of sweetness, we're going to add some dried cranberries. And I'm not really measuring because, like I always say, you do you. If you don't like cranberries, don't add cranberries. If you like lots of cranberries, add lots of cranberries. It is really up to you. How's that coming back there?
It's coming.
Okay, good. All right, so we're going to start with that. That looks to be about 2/3 of a cup, I'm going to guess. Next, I have 2 diced apples here. Now, this is a lot of stuffing because I have 2 pork loins that we're going to be stuffing for company. So we're a little bit on the big side here. All right, so I have our seasonings here. I've got some dried sage I'm going to be tossing in here.
Not too much because that
has some in there. Stuffing is there.
Has sage flavor too.
And then I've got some onion powder. And then I'm going to throw in some garlic powder as well. All right. Is that butter melted and everything?
It's melted. You want it now?
Yeah. Let's take that. Get that. I'm going to get up underneath here for you. You need to put that in there. Down. Okay, good.
You want me to pour it in?
Yeah, just pour it in. Okay, good. All right, thank you. All right, so we just put our apples in there. Next, I've got my chicken broth. We want to keep this nice and moist. It smells good with the onions and butter.
I love the smell of it.
Yeah.
It's already got pretty color to it.
Yeah, it does with those cranberries in there and the apples.
You want some more?
Sure. Now, because this is going inside of the meat, you want to make sure it's nice and moist. You don't want to be too soggy or loose, but you do want it to be nice and moist so it's not dry inside of the meat. It will pick up some moisture once that meat starts cooking, but you still want it to be a little bit on the moist side. There we go.
That stovetop is really dry, and it'll soak it up along with the herb stuffing.
Yeah.
So
It might take it a few minutes to absorb some of this chicken broth, but it will.
and we have additional broth in case we need it.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna just put this to the side for just a minute, and we're gonna pull our meat over. We're gonna talk about our pork loin here that we're gonna be stuffing. All right, so that's gonna go to the side. I'm gonna push these bowls to the side right here. Okay, you wanna bring. All right, Mom, you wanna tell us about the meat since you had it cut?
I went to our hometown butcher. It's called the hometown market. And I talked to him, had a nice long talk with him about what we wanted. We're doing this rouladen style, but he usually does it individual rouladens. And that rouladen means it's rolled. So he cut the whole pork loin and kind of shaved it all the way around until we had this nice roll. And Terry and I, we pounded it out again just to tenderize the inside of it.
And you also want to kind of pound it till it was pretty uniform in thickness. So you don't want any thin spots, you don't want anything too thick. So we use a meat tenderizer on it. And we're gonna salt a little bit on the inside and then of course on the outside as well. We don't want to do too much because that already has a lot of salt in the stuffing, but we do want some in the meat. So Mom, since your hands are clean, you want to just like sprinkle some salt inside.
This is coarse sea salt, and you don't need to use a whole lot of this because they're like concentrated salt. And it has a really good flavor. And then this is just plain ground black pepper. I'm gonna do a little bit, Terry.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do the outside some more.
If you want the meat to have a good taste too.
Okay, so here is our stuffing. We've let it sit out for a few minutes, and as you can see, it's really starting to soften up. It's absorbed a lot of that chicken broth, which is what we want it to do. Now, we don't want to just like throw all the stuffing in the center here because then it's not going to be possible to roll. So we're going to do a thin layer and then we're going to roll it up. And the butcher paper will help with that. And then we have some twine as well. And this, you can find the twine in the grocery store, and we found it in the meat department actually. Right. So, right.
You're gonna have those big chunks of apples, so yeah.
So I'm just gonna spread it out. I'll tell you what. You want to get something? You can help me spread it, Mom?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm just gonna throw some on there, and then we can start spreading it out. Yeah. It's gonna be really pretty once it's cooked, and then we slice it. You'll have this beautiful stuffing in the center of your pork. And this is going to feed a large crowd. We've got, what, 10 to 12 tomorrow? Yeah. You can do this ahead of time, which we are, and put it in the fridge and let it sit up, and then we'll bake it off tomorrow.
And that'll really be good because we have to tie the meat up in a roll, and that'll help hold its shape. Letting it sit for a while. We need to leave that.
Yeah. So you want to leave a little bit of an edge because as you roll it, it's going to like smush out a little bit to the side. So you want to leave some on the edge there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready to roll?
So now we are going to roll. And we've got a little bit of plastic underneath, which is going to help as well. I want to try to keep it like close as possible. And nice and firm.
That's gonna be perfect.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. It looks like we got a little empty space down there.
That's okay. It'll be fine.
All right, so that is our rolled pork loin right there.
Now we need to tie it.
Now we have to tie it. And since Mom's washing her hands, I'm gonna be the one you're gonna help cut and string, so we don't wanna like have pork juice all over everything, so.
Do your surgical.
Ugh. Let's see. How is that? Gotta make sure I don't
Start
get,
with a tie.
Yeah.
Not.
Make sure I don't get that plastic in there too.
You might want to turn it around, Terry.
I think you have to cut. You'll have to cut some off of there. Like cut.
Like a. Okay, I see what you did.
Okay.
It's kind of like macrame.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do it again.
Let me
Where's it coming from?
right here. Yeah, that's why I said might want to cut some of that off. Do you want to cut some off? Yeah, it might be easier.
Okay. Now you got it.
Okay. Hand in the slip there, baby. So you're just creating a nice loop here with one hand and then catching it underneath the tie underneath, pulling it through. And then shoring it up. And then opposite direction again. Oops, I missed that one. All right,
That needs to be tied off now.
yep. Can you shorten that for me a little bit? Mm-hmm. Okay. And of course, we're going to be cooking it with the twine on it, but it will be removed once we start slicing it.
But refrigerating it will help everything set
Right.
and help maintain the roll.
Okay, and all these little goodies that kind of fell out, we're gonna just like stuff them back in. Right? Okay, so next we're gonna salt and pepper it, and oops, there you go. Sorry, Mom. Okay. All right, we're gonna salt and pepper it, and we'll put it back in our paper. Well, we'll put it back in the paper, we'll salt and pepper it. Tomorrow, before we cook it, we'll let it stand at room temperature for a little bit before we stick it in the oven, and then we'll bake it off. So that is your stuffed pork loin. And like I said, go to your local butcher, tell them what you want, tell them you want it rouladen, so you want it to roll it out like a jelly roll style. That's basically what it is, like a jelly roll. So anyway, check back tomorrow. We'll cook it off and I'll show you the wonderful tasty results. And thanks for cooking with me today. Ciao.